Right, welcome back. It's I don't know, nearly a week on from the last little bit of clip you've seen where I was finding that the jigsaw didn't cut this aluminium sheet as I wanted. I've had a couple of goes at it. What I've done first off is I tried to find some better jigsaw blades, but I'm struggling to find jigsaw blades that even fit our jigsaw because it's so old, so that's an issue. And a lot of them don't want to cut a material that's 10mm thick either. So what I started to do was I thought, well, I'll angle grind it, which is limited success. You can see I've cut a bit out of the plate there, but it's very hard to get the curves, obviously, with an angle grinder blade. So what I've done is I've decided that even though it's going to be fairly labour intensive, what I'll do is I'll cut the biggest bits out that I can with the angle grinder, and then for the tight curves and things I will chain drill it, and then a lot of filing. Now chain drilling is, as the name sounds, you drill lots and lots of holes along the shape that you want, and then you enlarge those holes, and that will cut the waste section away because the holes join up, and then a little bit of filing and job's done. That's the theory anyway. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to continue cutting this one out. I think it's about maybe 4mm drill bit, goes through the aluminium quite easily, so I'll continue on with that. Enlarge these holes next so they all join up. There might be a little bit of angle grinder action required just to get the first couple of holes done, but it's one way of doing it. And then I've got to do the same on this plate. There will be some bits I can cut off, perhaps with the angle grinder and corners and stuff to make life easier, but some of it I've got no option but to attack it with the chain drill. Don't intend to film. Oh, it's a bit dark. I don't intend to film me cutting all these holes because there's going to be thousands of the buggers. So what I'll do is I'll just keep cracking on, and I'll try and stick in a little bit of B-roll of me cutting some of these holes, and then just pretend I've done that on the whole plate, and I'll show you the finished results in about 4 days time, which will be probably about New Year by the time I finish doing this, I think. There you can see what I mean about the holes join up more or less. Those little bits that are left will be able to be cut through with an angle grinder or a small hacksaw blade just to join the holes up, but they should be dead easy to do. So I'll just keep going all the way along there, doing alternate holes and then coming back through, and then once I get it cut off I'll show you what it looks like. Right, so as you can see, all the holes joined up. I'd have to do a little bit of a slice with an angle grinder just to join a couple of them up, and then I used hacksaw blade just to join a couple in this back edge that were a bit awkward that I couldn't get at. So now the next job will be to file it all to shape. In theory, because it's aluminium, it should be quite easy to do, but we'll just have to keep going at it. It's quite hard to do with all these lumps on at the start. I don't know if you can see the amount of swath that's coming off it, but it should work pretty well and pretty quickly, because it's only, at the end of the day, it's only aluminium, or aluminum, depending on which colony you come from. But, so it's taking shape already, so I'll just well, I don't know if I'm going to finish this one off yet. Some of it I might be able to do with an angle grinder, with a grinding blade to get the roughness off it, and then do the fine tuning with a file. It's quite a rough file, so it's taking quite a lot off. Just work my way across it, use a big file to get all the big edges off, and then work into these corners with the round file where the recess needs to be. It's going to be a bit of work, but I think it's going to work alright. So what I'll probably do, I think I'll keep chain drilling the main plate and get all the shapes cut out, and then drop down onto the fine tuning after that, depending on how sick of it I get. Alright, welcome back, and it is now 24 hours roughly, give or take, since I started the chain drilling, and I'm glad to say, very glad to say, that I've finished, although I've still got a lot of work ahead of me. That's what you end up with after you finish chain drilling. Bloody mess. And I've floor's almost as bad, and I've cleaned the floor twice. So these are the plates. Thermostat mounting plate, spacer plate between the front plate and the back plate, back plate, that needs a lot of shaping in it as well. Not as much as that one needs, that needs a lot of finessing, but there we go. Supercharger front mounting plate, and ooh, sharp edges. This one is the main plate, we're going to call it, that mounts to the water pump mounting and the various points around here. So as you can see, it's lots and lots of drill holes, a little bit of angle grinding where I could, and gone round where I needed to cut out in 4mm, and then gone back in 6mm, and then joined up the holes with not an angle grinder, with a hacksaw blade, and then just cut between the ones where they didn't quite overlap. And there's all my offcuts, bits that I've cut out. So I think I'm going to call it a night at that. I'm just going to tidy up the floor a little bit, and some of this lot, because I've got a hell of a mess in here. And what I'll do is, next job will be to start finessing these plates, get rid of all the sharp edges, because there's a lot of sharp edges on at the moment. Yeah, and I'll just keep going at that, and I'll show you how I come on. But I mean, it's going to take a while. And as tomorrow is Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, Boxing Day, so progress is going to be a bit slow over the next few days, but yeah, next bit of footage will probably be once I've got at least some of these plates shaped as to how they should be. But in the meantime, that's it for now.